Hey Pisces, welcome to your May of 2019 Sidereal Astrology forecast. All right, so in this video, we're going to talk about all of the important events taking place for you here this month that I feel like is important to know about. Now, if you do look down here at the chart, I do want to say that you will notice the constellations are different sizes. And this isn't normally the case in mainstream astrology. This is called true sidereal astrology, and it does change the signs from mainstream. So if you are new to the channel, definitely check out the link down below for more information because the signs will change. All right, so Pisces, let's take a look here on the 4th and 5th, right at the beginning of the month. We do have a new moon. And this is the subtle time of the lunar cycle, lowest energy time, but it's also the time where new seeds are planted. And so this is going to be in your second house that has to do with your self-reliance, your sense of self-value, your self-esteem even. And as a result of that, it's going to help you maybe cultivate your external resources like material security, maybe income, spending more time in nature, and having gratitude for the simple enjoyments of life, the material life. So great to set some new intentions with this for this lunar month and also for the year as well, around this area, around the 4th and 5th. Now, also on the 4th and 5th, Mars is going to be opposite up to your modern ruler, Jupiter. And so this is going to be for everyone maybe a bit of confidence and probably more so for your sign because it's Mars forming an aspect to your ruler. So this might be confidence, it might be feeling very proactive or very direct. And a lot of this energy will likely be manifested through your communication or anything you're doing on a very practical front, like learning, reading, writing, things of that nature. And that was really already the case from last month in April because Mars has been in here. So it's really nothing new, but it's just a nice step to continue to put drive and motivation into communication, into learning, into your perspective on things on that practical front. Now, because it's an opposition, we do want to balance it because what I feel like is happening for you this year is that there's a lot of expansion taking place with your inspiring side, the 9th house. This has more to do with expanding your horizons. And so also around the 4th and 5th, maybe a shift with your expansion. It could be through travel and adventure for some of you. For others, it could be through philosophy, spiritual beliefs, your worldview, your outlook on life, some of your life path, what gives you that spirit for life and gives you that adventurousness. All right. So great to cultivate that as well. Now, because it's an opposition, it does require balance. And so this is the typical balance of balancing your practical side with your more expansive side, right? Could say the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain, the more immediate and the more distant kind of stuff, right? So good to do that because we need one for the other. Can't have expansion in life without practicality, and we can't have practical things in life if we aren't expanding those horizons. So seeing it from both sides of that coin and merging the two and incorporating both of these can be a great way of working with this opposition. All right, and then on the 8th, we do have Mercury passing over Uranus, and this is going to be in that second house of resourcefulness. So a nice step here, and this could have to do with maybe some new ideas coming in about your resources, inner or outer resources, maybe about your natural talents, natural abilities, maybe again more insight about what your time's worth, what your energy's worth, what are your values in life, how can you pursue them. And this is important because last month we had Uranus come in here for the first time, for good for the next 5 years. And this is all about really mixing up this area. How can you think outside the box when it comes to these values, when it comes to resources, and innovate and progress and listen to your true self about it if you're guided to. And this Mercury is just going to give you a nice sort of further bit of information, new perspective perhaps involving this resource sector. Now fast forward to the middle of the month on the 15th, we do have some sign changes. We have the Sun going into your 3rd house and Mars shifting into your 4th. So the 3rd house, again, where Mars already was, the second half of the month, I think there will just be more of a shift of focus when it comes to the, again, practical things like learning or communication. And that's going to be your energy and vitality going into June. All right, so great to focus on that. We'll continue to focus on that. Now, Mars is going into your 4th house. And so what you'll likely notice the second half of the month is more motivation and drive towards your foundations. It might be regarding your home. It might be regarding family. It might be about your health, perhaps getting more active there. So whatever motivates you on the personal life front, really good to put energy into that second half of the month and going into June. All right, and then the next thing here is on the 18th, we have Venus passing over Uranus, again in that second house. Now this is important because Venus will be the last planet to leave your sign. And this is where a lot of energy was back last month in April. So I think this month there's developments involving, final developments involving things like your independence, things like your goals, your needs, your self-image, your desires, where a lot of that concentration was last month. It's now finalizing. And this will be the last final development of it between the 16th and 18th once Venus leaves there. Now where she's going is again in the resource sector, and this is her natural house where she likes to be house-wise. And so there could be just noticing that you are finding your values. Maybe around the 18th with this conjunction, you're noticing new values about what you enjoy in life, about the material life, about your inner strength, inner resourcefulness, and you're connecting to it. But again, it's in such a way that's like outside the norm. It's, challenging your own status quo. It's challenging the status quo in terms of this stuff. And maybe even in terms of how you bring in income or your investments or, some things there that involve your, what will usually leads to greater material security in your life. All right, and then also on the 18th, we do have a full moon, and this is in the 8th house. So great time around the 18th to do a status check with your own personal empowerment. How are things in your life regarding healing, transformation, regarding deeper connections in your relationships, involving anything that you can break cycles or patterns with? This is where the awareness is what you can do to continue your personal empowerment. And it's already been developed. This is the high point of the cycle, so there's a lot being harvested here. You could just feel very empowered. But ask yourself what new started here maybe 6 months ago that might be harvesting here and culminating, and how can you further develop this area for the next 6 months? Further develop this self-empowerment in whatever the context is with that. If there's anything involving shared resources, that could also be coming ahead and could also be shifting to continue to move forward around the 18th as well. All right, so the last thing here this month is going to be on the 21st, last important thing I feel like, which is Mercury passing over the sun. And that's going to be, again, in that third house of practical stuff. So a nice, again, step involving further focus and understanding regarding learning or practical things, communication, more flexibility, more adaptability in your life in terms of curiosity, learning, this kind of mental and communicative stuff. And yeah, maybe further development with things like connecting to your neighbors or your peers or your siblings, which can also be seen from the third house. And this is all kind of a prelude, really, because next month in June, that's where the new beginnings are going to be with your third. We're going to have a new moon there in your third house, and that's where you'll notice more of the new beginnings involving this practical life sector. All right, so Pisces, have a fantastic May. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to click that like button, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.